create a little texture. Some will turn out, if it's too wet, they'll turn out dark, which is all right. And if it's just about right, it'll be kind of a light version. So I'm going to hit this a little bit with the hairdryer. And then I'm going to come back in and follow this up with the second sky wash. And by that time, we'll have kind of already established the values in our painting. We'll have the whites, we'll have our darkest darks, which are still transparent, and we'll have our mid value. So we've kind of got the extreme edge of the piano keyboard, and we've got hopefully middle C up here someplace. Okay, that should do it. You don't want to get, there's some darks up in here, you don't want to get involved where it's going to get real watery and wet. There'll be a little of that happens, but I really want to get these things established, because otherwise this will loosen up some of this pigment, and so I got to be a little more deliberate up in here. In some cases, this is useful to, kind of take the sweetness out of something if it's too colorful or too sweet a color, too pinky bluey. And the other case, if it's too flat and too uninteresting, you can push the color stronger and the value stronger and pump it up. So it has a dual purpose at this point. The other thing I like to get involved with here is I want, remember I was talking about edge quality and texture. I don't want the sky to look like it was painted by artist number one in a nice wet and wet kind of pretty technique, and then the rest of the painting to have a lot of rough edge in it. I want some of that roughness, some of that texture to carry off into the sky itself. It's kind of promotes unity in the painting, which is a real important design element. Again, this is sort of showing this gray, which was more neutral. Now that it's being played off against the warm color here, it sort of looks cooler. And maybe the other is the case over in this area. Okay, now we're going to try and create maybe more of a sense of water down here. Here we were trying to create kind of a sense of maybe cloud shapes, roughness up in the sky. Again, we want to get the relationship going, like what happened up here, what happened down there, over in this area here. And again, we're painting the thing first. We're painting the sky, we're painting the second wash of the sky, and then the sequence is to get down into the reflection of it. And we wouldn't really know what would happen up here. It's going to happen differently each time you would paint that. So, and here that we have a little better shot at kind of making it more of a relationship between the two. So that's what we're doing. This is reflection of sky, a reflection of the second wash of the sky. We want to kind of promote that feeling of movement and texture, but we want a continuity. We want flow through here. That's, I think, the mistake that students make with trying to do what I'm doing here is they break this up into too many small shapes. If there's some movement, some flow through it, that's really what you're after. So here we're over in the part of the sky that's a little more on the cerulean side. Okay, and then we can kind of make our transition here into that little bit of kind of warmth that's happening there. I don't know. Let's see if we can do that. Okay, that's all right. Now we're back over, beginning down this path here, which is where we're a little more into the cobalt, although we've kind of grayed out and warmed up some of the sky there. So we'll see what it's going to end up looking like. We're going to modify it. There's some darks and things that will come in to play here anyway. That's a little Remember what I said about gobs of paint on these real soft Hake brushes. But that's all right. Some of the roughness, some of the goofs in your painting. I know this isn't going to make sense, but painting shouldn't be too finished. There's a quality where things are too well done. And sometimes I come in and there'll be something that looks too perfect, too cutesy, too crafted, I guess would be a way to put it. And so I'll come in and just, make a blossom in the sky or throw something in to get away from that too careful look. So when stuff happens, unless it's really, stuff you really don't want to have happen, don't be too much in a hurry to undo it. Press the undo button with it. Okay, we're going, again, the gradation, which we'll get into more. Darker than the reflection being darker than the thing that's being reflected, one of the secrets, and gradation happening here. Okay, I think I've got pretty much what I want out of this, which is that feeling of movement, but there's a connection here. It's not all broken up. There's breaks that show that feeling of wave action and texture, but there's a continuity here that runs through all this. There's essentially one wash that connects throughout this whole second wash, and that's very important to have that connection.